Hi, my name's Alanna Locast, and I'm from Parisi Speed School in Wonton, New York. I've been coaching with the facility since we opened it back in 2010, and I am now the current director. I have a master's in exercise physiology, and I also interned strength and conditioning coach for Fairfield University, and now Parisi Speed School is where I'm at. Back in, I want to say it was 2010 maybe, or 2012, we went to the Fairlawn headquarters and got kind of opened the franchise with Liz Burkhardt as the director, and it was myself and one other coach. And we had this tiny little, it was like maybe wall to wall, 20 yards of turf, and maybe it was like 10 yards wide. It was this little tiny room that they ended up letting us use in the gym. But we started from there and just started really grassroots in the area and finding kids in Little League and things like that wanted to come. And I joke about it with the owner of the gym that we're in right now, that we've just slowly taking over like a few yards at a time of turf. Like we knocked a wall out to the side and made it a little bit wider. And then we took over, there was like physical therapy in the back. So now the stretch of turf is more like 45 yards long, and it has a much more width to it and a weight room and everything. So it's been cool to see the space kind of grow over the past 8 to 10 years. You get so invested in the success of these kids that like we're regularly going to their games and regularly, checking, knowing how they're doing outside of our place. And I think that tradition of just caring more about them than just the hour that they step in your facility kind of breeds that feeling of community and family that we preach so often with everyone. So it's been so like they're loyal to us to the point where like they'll go to college, and on their breaks they'll be giving us the heads up of when their Thanksgiving break is or their winter break is, because they want to come back in those doors and train. So I just love that it's become like a place where the kids they all go to different schools all over the island, some in the Bronx, some in the East Island, and they're like Snapchat and TikTok friends with each other, and it's like their own little friend group. And in the beginning, and I'm sure we've all experienced it as coaches, when you have like a really quiet class because no one is in there with their best friend and they're all kids that they don't really know, so it's like a little quiet and you have to like kind of force conversation or force. Now we can't get them to shut up because it's like it's their time to see their best friend. So I just love that it's become a place like that, where kids feel comfortable and they really look forward to going. So I think that's why some of them have stuck with it for as long as they have. So when I was in college playing Division I soccer at Fairfield, me and two of my teammates accidentally, I guess, started a social media following simply by just like being really open and genuine about being a female athlete, especially a female college athlete, and kind of venting out the problems that you have as athletes and the stress and the things that you go through that kind of unite you with other athletes. And we grew this really big following. We had like a video that got millions of views on it. And we had like Twitter at the time was the big thing, and it had like hundreds of thousands of followers. So when we graduated, we kind of created like a lifestyle brand and an educational kind of resource for female athletes, more specifically female soccer players. So that has also been something that I've been doing since college, I guess. It's called Soccer Girl Probs, and it's short for Soccer Girl Problems. And it genuinely started from us kind of just making fun of ourselves, like trying to put skinny jeans on over athletic legs, or when you have terrible farmer's tan. And it's things that not just soccer players relate to, really any females in the athletic space can relate to. And I think that's why it grew so big so fast. But once we graduated and our following started to get younger and younger, so it's like a lot of middle school and high school girls now, we wanted to become a resource for those girls to learn about nutrition and to learn about, lowering your risk for injury and mental health and conquering anxiety on the field and things like that. So that's become a really cool focus of what we do. And it's something I try to implement into my coaching as well at Parisi. My first coaching influence and probably the most memorable coach that I've had was actually my high school soccer coach. I wasn't going to play collegiate athletics, and he sat me down one day and was like, "Do you want to keep playing?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "But I'm not good enough." He's like, "I don't care." He's like, "Literally go try." He's like, "Anyone can play collegiate sports if they want to." And I ended up walking onto the Division I soccer team at Fairfield University. And I literally would have never made that choice had he not sat me down. And it has been a huge thing that has shaped the way that I coach and the athlete that I am today. I think is don't be afraid to try. And I've taught them that, and they've taught me that as well. But a big part of making progress and getting better is being bad at something at first. And I've watched as they become more comfortable, taking classes and things, they're not afraid to fail. And I think that is a huge part of the progress that they end up making in the long run. The advice I would have for females entering a predominantly male space, and I think this goes for athletes and coaches and anything like that, is you just have to be 100% yourself. And I think so often, we see people getting caught up in how they acting like the way they feel they need to be perceived. And I think you just have to go in with no fear and just being 100% you. And who cares about the judgments? I mean, I genuinely feel like I get judged on a daily basis, but the less I care about that, the more it allows me the space to kind of be the best coach that I can be. I would want like an endless vertical jump. I'm obsessed with vertical jump. I love box jumping. I long jumped in college. I love jumping. So I would love to just have like endless explosive power. Be able to just like vertical jump like a 3-foot wall, a 30-foot wall.